Hi everyone, it's Kay from the Paper Shed. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for coming back and joining me today. I thought I'd get on the bandwagon with everybody else and start with the Mass Make March event and challenges. So I sat there all night last night because I'm not well. I've had this cold, fluey thing for a few weeks, and this cough just will not go. So I've got a bit of a croaky voice, so I do apologise. Um, but I'm doing my best to catch up with everybody. I'm doing the 100-day challenge with Rachel and Bella Crafts, and I had caught up with that. So I started watching the Mass Make March events, and I watched Margaret from Seven Plaza, and oh my God, her energy is just so infectious. She gets so excited when she's doing stuff, and I love it. So I thought I'd join in. So I carried on watching. I got some ideas together, and I carried on watching. And I was watching Tony from Crafty by Tony, and she is just as much fun. Her energy, everything about her is just great, and she just gets so carried away with everything. And this idea actually, I think, originated from her. I don't actually know, but I thought I'd do it as a mass make, only because you mass make all of these. So what we're going to do, I get these from the UK when I'm home. They're from the range. It is a pad of 30 sheets, and it's not expensive. I can't actually remember how much it was, but it wasn't expensive. And I actually bought it because I'd got some watercolours that I wanted to just play about with, and I'm not very good. I do draw, but I can't paint. So it's mixed media paper by the Art Studio, 30 sheets of A4, 300 GSM. Now you don't need 300 GSM, but I'm going to admit something. When I first saw these and I started to do them, I've cut a load out, and I keep them on my desk all the time in these little tins. Okay, so these are them here, but they're lovely to work with. They're sturdy. I mean, because they're used for clusters. There's my tidbits there, and then I've got some more where I've got tickets and other little bits of ephemera from different other things that I've done. Now I did these by painting the colour on, and it works, but I'll just show you the mistakes that I have made so that you get to understand what it is. So they're on my desk all the time, and I use them for clusters in whatever journal I'm doing. So it doesn't matter if it's floral, if it's grungy, if it's, romantic, anything. I use them for everything, and the same with those. So I do cut them up, and I absolutely love it. So what I did was I spent a few days when I first had the book and stamped in the whole sheets of my stamps that I'd got. Any stamps. It doesn't have to be Tim Holtz, it can be any stamps that you can do this with. And then I watched Mandy from Sunflower Indoors, and she was painting hers, and I think that came from Tony as well. But she was painting them, and I really liked it. I'll turn it that way so that you can see the whole sheet. And I really quite liked it, but it was taking forever. So I didn't want them all the same colour because I was getting ready for doing the blue journals and stuff. So I wanted blues, greens, neutrals. And then it started to go a bit wrong. I was getting a bit overzealous with the ink, and I was over colouring them. Now I will use them, I just haven't got around to cutting them out yet. So these are a few pages that have been done. I started lightening up with the water, with the ink, and then started mixing in different colours and going back over different places that I'd missed. So that was a little bit better. So I will cut those up when I'm ready. And obviously done some more. So I've done some greens. I think that's, I don't know what it is actually. Is it, bundle sage? These are just some of the other brownie colours that I've got. I can't tell you which ones I've used now. And then I sort of went mad because then I was going back over it and it was going too dark. So I decided to stop because I was making a mess of it, really. I mean, I will use them. It's not that they can't be used, but I wanted to find a slightly better way to do it. Now, so I've got a few pages there that I've already got stamped up. And I will stamp another sheet so that you can see. I've done these as tester pieces, and all I'm actually doing is splitter splattering. I'm just literally dibby dabbying on my sheet, and I'm just going to see what I get, because I actually prefer it. I think it's better in respects to, you know, I mean, this one's got, it'll have a little bit of blue in it. This one's got a little bit of this in it. I can add to it if I want to at a later date, or I can just carry on and wait until I've got all the colours and the bits. But I quite like these light ones. You know, you don't want everything coloured all the time. I love this rusty hinge here. I've got some, what's the grey one that I've got? Pumice stone. So I've got some pumice stone in. And I'm always worried about using the rusty hinge because it's quite vibrant. But I dabbed it with some tissue. Perfect. And I loved it. So I did another one with just sort of browns and greens, and that one came out lovely. So when I cut these out, I'll have a nice surprise, because I don't actually know what I'm getting until I've actually cut them out. And I quite like that idea. So I thought we'd share. I thought we'd do it and make loads and loads of tickets. So I'm going to pull that one out because I'm going to do that one. So I'm going to do the stamping first. So I will do some stamps. These books are great because they lie flat, because they're on the, so you don't need to take this out. You can if you want to, shall we? Yeah, because we're going to do it, aren't we? And nothing on these pages goes to waste. Absolutely nothing. I even use this. So when I cut that off, that goes in my stash, and I use that on the edge of my pages. And because it's sturdy, it's just lovely. I love this. I love working with this. It's just perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some stamps. I'm going to stamp up, and then we'll talk about where we go from there. So the first step is to stamp your page. Okay, so my mind went travelling while I was off camera, and I spray coffee dyed these two with just a spray bottle with coffee dye in, because I've been coffee dyeing some papers this morning. So I sprayed it. Now this one, because you need to use the archival ink, as I was saying, for any stamping, so that whatever you put on top doesn't bleed. And I think it's come out okay. I quite like it, but I still want to dibby dabby some colour onto it, which is fine. On this one, though, I'd actually coloured a couple of these in with some of my oxide dyes. And obviously when I've wet the paper again, it's smudged these areas that I've coloured. But it's not going to take it away for me. I'm quite happy with the way it's come out, but I do want to do some dibby dabbying on there as well. So I did think, well, the two that I dibby dabbied this morning, I'll just coffee dye the rest. And that's what I've done. And I think that'll work. So save me having to re-dibby dabby other areas. I'm going to leave those as they are because I quite like the way that they've come out. So we're going to try that. Did I do that one? Yeah, I showed you that one. Okay, so we're going to do that. So the first bit is to get your stamps down on your paper. Now you can do this two ways. You can either stamp first, or you can dibby dabby your papers and stamp on top. Entirely up to you how you do it. I prefer to stamp first. I have done it both ways, and it doesn't really make much difference, to be fair. I couldn't pick out of my tin which ones I'd done the opposite way, if that makes sense. So it's entirely preference. So I've unfortunately gone for my Timmy stamp, and I do much prefer this stamp to his stamp, just because I hate the fact that they're on those sponge blocks. I just don't like the way that they come out, and this is a much better and easier way to do these. Plus I think these are slightly smaller. I think they are. Anyway, so you need archival ink, which is a permanent waterproof ink. I'm going to use jet black because I've already got it in a few other colours in my other previous stamping set. So I'm just going to ink all of my pad up. I'm not taking them off. In fact, I think I've only ever taken one of these stamps off this. And I'm just going to, and I'm not bothered if it comes out, you know, complete or patchy or whatever. I just want to make sure there's plenty of ink on there to do that with. And then we're going to just turn this over very gingerly and try not to smudge it as you pop it down. So I want to pop it down there, and it doesn't matter if I'm slightly off the page. And then I'm just going to hold it with one hand and push with the other. Do the same on this side. Make sure you get these middle ones and these outer edge ones. Now when I first did this, I thought, oh, this is going to smudge, this is going to be a right mess. But it does actually work. So for all of you beginners out there, there you go. Got a few that I haven't took. But again, I'm not too fussed. It's come out as clear as I wanted it to. I'm just going to wipe that. Here we go. Just going to wipe that off just a little with my towel before I put that back, because then I don't need that anymore. That can go there. And then for this bit, so you can either do it that way and do it in a block, or you can do them separately. I quite like doing them separately. I've got quite a few field notes, so I'm going to do the specimen one, because we can never have too many there, can we? So I'm just going to ink that up, and it doesn't matter how you do it. Now you can more or less guarantee that when you do it this way, you're going to get the spacing and a fairly decent stamp. Okay, so you can do that to fill up the rest of your page. Don't waste this paper. Don't very often do circle ones, so and I always like a circle in my, try and get that edge, okay. There we go, nice better one there. Okay, and we've got those there. And then I'm just going to do some little bit ones that I've sort of got. Now you can put these all on one if you want to. I'm not going to. Actually, let's put two on just to show you what I mean. So we can put those two on. Let me just rub that off. So you can do those like so. There you go. And then I've got some little ones here which I can fill in down here. And I just want to leave a gap because I want to make them into, you know, I want to be able to get the name on there. And then this last one, which is just a number one, I can go this way and I can do several of these. There we go, I think that's enough. What can we get down the bottom of there? Another number maybe. Ooh, can we fit it on? Not really. Let's pop it there. Doesn't matter that I've got that frame around it. Just want to use that space because that's no good. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. So that's our first sheet. Now what I've done in my book is I've done several of this up. So I've had all my ink out, all the different colours that I've got, all my different stamps, ticket stamps, all of that, and I've just done it on all the pages. Well, I got fed up after about 12. So I did about 12 of these pages and then started obviously colouring them in. So I have got one here, which is all the field labels. Now what I did here was I've done some in blue, some in green, some in brown and some in black, and just filled in the edges with different pieces. So that was what I did on this one was I put the stamp on, the full stamp on, which is to there, and then I just half inked the rest and put that on. So you can get a good thing. I did it that way, so I did one that side and then I did this side here and then filled in any areas. Same with this really, this was all different stamps. So that was quite a good one to do. So you can see how easy it is to quickly get that many stamps all in one go. And we're going to now colour them. So I'm just going to put my stamps away before I lose them all and then I will be back. Okay, so I forgot that I'd got a bigger Timmy mat, which is fairly new. I've only used it once and I made a mistake by using pigment ink, so it's marked my mat. But never mind, it is meant to be used after all. I have left my board underneath, so I just need to be careful that I don't go over the edge of that, which I think I'll be fine with. So I've got a variety of different inks with my new stamped card. I don't know about other inks because I only use the distress inks or the distress oxides. Now I prefer an oxide to an ink. Lots of people prefer ink to oxide. It is down to personal preference. When you're doing dibby-dabbying though, you do get a slightly different effect from ink to oxide. A lot of the oxide, I don't know if I've got one. So this was oxide, this green, it was Bundle Sage. And because the paper was already wet, it clouds. Now, I don't know whether that is a thing with the oxides or whether it's a reaction to something else. So I don't actually know. But you don't tend to get it if you use an ink. But I don't mind that look, to be honest with you. I just don't mind it. But I do prefer the oxides. I have noticed, because I've only really just started collecting the colours, and they're the colours that I've got. So I've got blues and greens and an orange. They're the only. I have got a few other colours in the ink, so your blacks and your browns. But I've got chipped sapphire, aged mahogany, and old paper in the ink, and then the rest are brown. Only because I tend to just use and stick with what I know. And I just sort of, when I went home last time, I thought, no, I'll get some colours because I love the dibby-dabby looking thing. And I like to add, like with the coffee stain here, not that one, this one, you know, it's nice to add a little bit of colour to this, even though they're green. So if they were black, to add a bit of colour would be really nice. So I just sort of got a variety of the colours that I'd more than likely use, which is blues, greens or orange. So that was my thing behind that. Plus, I can't afford more than 3 or 4 at a time. 2, really. But we'll see anyway. So because the others that I got, I actually bought a tin from eBay that was full of some of the inks, and obviously they're colours that I would never or not use. So let's try it anyway, and let's go for it. So I'm going to do the one that we stamped together on screen, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a colour. Now, I think I'll do the coffee staining afterwards. if I miss any areas, because I've already sprayed a little bit, look, where I got overzealous when I was overthinking everything. So I'm going to just stick with, what should we use? Should we do a bit of old paper? Now this is an ink, but the inks and the oxides work both the same. And old paper is quite a light colour, and it's very greeny in colour when you speckle it. So I'm just gonna dibby dabby in different areas. I like dibby dabby in this way. I have seen people do it on some cellophane, some packaging, and then dibby dabby where they want it to go. But I like the actual, see, that's nice, isn't it? It's not too in your face. I do love old paper. I think it's a lovely colour. It's just got that lush green tone to it. So I quite like that. And that's going to need to dry. That's dry enough. So now I want to put some orange in that because I don't have enough orange stuff now. When you use Rusty Hinge, oh my God, you just think, oh my God, I don't want that much. And it's a bit like very, very orange. But a way to do that with anything, and if you notice on here, because it's an oxide that I've got, it goes chalky. I don't know what that is. Just part of the oxide. Now I'm just gonna dibby dabby in different places. Ooh, see, so you look at it and you think, oh my God, I didn't mean to do it like that. But with the there we go, just dab it off. Dab any excess off. Sorry, that was my my heat tool. Okay, now what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to mop that up on one of my others. And this is the beauty of dibby dabbying. Just going to mop all that up. Okay, so there you go, look, and that'll dry quite nice. So this one I'm just going to use with the dibby dabbying and the mopping up and just show you the difference. That there. See, so it's not as vibrant now as you can see, although it looks very yellow on my screen. It's actually quite orange in real light. And I want some more because the old paper has sort of fed into the background, but I want to add some browns in now. And I'm going to go with the frayed burlap because it's a lighter colour. Is it a lighter colour? That looks really dark. Looks light on there. Oh, this is the sort of grey colour, isn't it? I think. I always forget which is which. There we go. So this has got like, although it's a brown, it's got like a green undertone to it. Gives you that dirty, muddy look. And I just need some in that area there. Okay. So where's my mopping up one? There's the mopping up one. I'm just going to do that. Yeah, that's fine. And I'll just quickly mop that up. See, so you've got little bits. I quite like the moppy up. What do you think? I'm quite liking that. I do think it needs more of a brown tinge, but I do want to bring in some more green into this middle area and maybe over here where this old paper is. But let me just show you. Look at this. Can you actually see all this mottled effect here? I love that. And then if you want like lighter ones, you've got this sort of look here, where you've got a bit of the, what did I use? Frayed burlap mixed in with the old paper. So you've got like a very light green tinge to it. I actually love that. I'm sorry about that colour, because that colour on screen is nothing like it is in real life. It's not as yellow, it's more orange. What about blue, actually? We haven't done blue. So let's do a bit of Salvage Patina, because that's slightly darker than the Speckled Egg. But again, you get the chalky look. And I want to do that in the middle. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Bit down that side, bit up that side, and a bit down here, and a bit, just a tad on there, just to bring those blues in. And then I just want my moppy up one. And I just want to do it in certain areas. You won't get a lot because there's not a lot left. But that's okay, because we're going to add to it later. Liking that too. Mm-mm. Oh, I'm loving it. I'm getting a crease there. Maybe it's because I'm wetting it too much. Okay, so I'm just going to bend it in back into place. Now I think the only thing left that I need to do with that is a bit of coffee stain, just to take the whiteness off certain areas. So I'm just going to spray it in different places. Where it's too white, and I think that's enough. And with this one, I'm just gonna do it more on there. And again with this one, let that just dry naturally. That's the only thing with the heat tool, not letting it dry naturally, is that you get a bend in your papers. The other tip that I forgot to mention and didn't do is it's a Fiona tip actually. And I have this little tiny drying rack, and if you dry your stuff on a rack like this, it dries way quicker than just trying to hold it or doing it on your surface. So that's another tip. If you have an old cake rack or cooling rack, use one of them. Perfect. I just don't have the space in my craft space for a large one. I really like that. I think once they cut up, you'll see a much better, because when you're looking at it like that, you're probably just thinking, oh my God, it's just too much. But when you cut them up, you'll see the difference, and I'll show you when I do cut them up. Now this is my Dibby Dabby page, so the only page left to do is this one. So I'm just going to do this one quickly, and I'll probably do the other coffee stained ones off screen. Yeah, that's the one I did this morning. So that's my Dibby Dabby. That's the one I've just done. I want to add to that, and I want to add to that. So I'll do this one with you now, because I just want to do some different colours. What do we want? I just want to do browns, I think, on this one. I don't want it to be... so I've got brushed corduroy, gathered twigs, ground espresso. Shall we do that? Yeah, let's do that. Let's just pop those away. And used ground espresso is quite dark. So now let's do a bit of that. Not with that. Ground espresso is quite dark, so ooh, too You know what? Splatter's amazing. Oh yes, liking that. Where's my moppy up piece? Where's it gone? There it is. Just do that with this. There you go, look. Yeah, sort of need to do around the edges, don't I, when I mop up. It's almost dry, there's just some of the bigger blobs. So just to be quick, I'm just going to use now brushed corduroy. Just want a couple of different browns on here. Just to show you that if you've only got brown, you can still do Dibby Dabby and have a great look. Nice. So mop your mat. Let's do that one. Yes. And then yeah, so that second one was yellow, very yellow, the brushed corduroy. Got a yellow undertone to it. And then we've got gathered twigs. I do like gathered twigs. It's becoming one of my favourite browns. Yeah, it is becoming one of my favourites. Do you know what? I think that's going to be enough on there with the coffee spray. So what I'll do is I'll dry that off. I'll come back. I'll show you the results of all of the splitter splatter, Dibby Dabby, on all of them before they're cut, so that you can see the difference. So this one here is my moppy mat, but I will do a bit of spraying or something on there. This is the one that I'm just going to allow to dry. Yes. So that was just all of the browns. This is the one that we've just done. That is with the blues and the rust, which I quite like that. I don't want to put that on top of there because it's wet. And then I've just got this one that I did this morning, where with a few bits of Dibby Dabby in. And this is just the coffee stained one, along with that one, that I'll need to just add to with a bit of Dibby Dabby. And then I just want to do a little bit more Dibby Dabby with some browns on there, and then I'll be done. So I'm going to do that, and then when I so I'm going to do that there. So I'm going to get them all to the place where they're ready to cut, and I'll show you that, and then I'll cut some up, and then I'll show you the results. So I'll be back. Okay, so here's the final results. We have this one. We have just a brown one with the field labels. It's quite nice. We have a little bit of orange in this one with a little bit of blue and a little bit of green. This is a much brighter one. But see, you'll see that a lot of this, when we cut them out, you'll see a big difference. That was my mopping up one. So I've got a few down here that have not got much colour on them, but I don't mind that because you want some blank ones, to be honest. You don't want them all to be. That one's not quite dry. And that was just, I just did a brown, just a tad bits of brown on there. So we'll see what that one comes out to as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some up and I'm going to show you the end results. Now, I'm obviously not going to sit and cut all of these up, but I do want to cut some from each one so that you get the gist of how it works. So I'm going to go away, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come back. So while I'm cutting away, I've just gone outside just to check my papers from this morning, and this is the result. I'm sharing it with you because this is a new way to do it for me. I've always had a bath of coffee dye or tea dye, and then I've dumped my papers in, and then I've hung them over my airer to dry. And I can do that here because obviously, we have quite warm weather. So it's a quick and easy process, but the mess it leaves behind is unbelievable. And it doesn't matter what I do to try and help that process. Oh, sorry about my hands. Look at the state of my hands. Apologise. So I just thought I'd share it with you because I made a jug, just a normal sized jug of coffee this morning, 300 ml. That's all I made. And it was just to fill this. So what was left, I thought, I'll just paint some onto paper. So I just grabbed a few bits of coffee paper, and I haven't done this in ages because it just puts me off. The mess of the coffee bath just drives me insane. So I thought I'd share because I just used a wide brush. I've dumped it into my jug, and I've literally just painted both sides while sat at the table. Left it to dry, both sides, left it to dry, and then I've just literally splattered with a few bits after it's dried, and this is the result of it. And the clean-up process was I just wiped the table over afterwards. Amazing. And to be honest, if I'd have put a cloth down, I wouldn't have needed to do that. And this is the results that I've got, and I just love the colour. The colours come out brilliantly, so I will definitely be doing more of that. This took me about half an hour, I would say, just to quickly brush over these front and back. So look at that. It's just so nice. And some are better than others, but I've definitely used them. I just love it. Look at it. So I thought I'd quickly share that with you while I had just a little bit of rest from cutting out all those tickets. I'll be back in a sec with the tickets. Okay, so I've given myself an hour. I've managed to cut out these. I haven't done too many of the fancy cutting, the ovals and things, because they take ages. And I wanted to get as much to show you as possible because all of that looks very different to what you see there. And so I'll show you what I've done. What I do first is I cut them up into sections that are manageable. And then I cut out any circles that I can cut out with a circle punch. And I can tell you that this size here, you probably already know this actually, but this size here is a 3/4 inch circle punch. So I punch all of those out of my sheets first. And then the bigger ones, this size here, that is a 1 1/4 inch stamp that cuts those out. So I cut all those out first as well. So you've got, this was from the orange sheet, and I've got to say it was my favourite in the end. I did think it was too bright, but I have to show you how they've come out. And amazing. I love the colours. My screen colour isn't actually a true colour to what this is. It's very rusted orange in person. Well, it's not a person. You know what I mean, though. Looking at that, it's orange, whereas on the screen it does look a bit like I don't know. It's a bit yellowy, but they are orange, I can tell you. So they're those ones, and then this is all a selection of the. And I love these circle ones and the way they've come out. Let me see if I can zoom in to where they are so that I can show you individually, because I can't pick them all up face wise. So let me just zoom in a little. See if it will focus. There we go. So all these circles here look amazing. Look at the difference. I've got green ones that are quite plain. I've got blue ones, black, bits with orange on, bits with real grunginess on. they're just so cool. The yumminess, I honestly, I can see where Tony gets all her enthusiasm from. Then we've got all these sort of square tickets, snippets. And again, this isn't a true colour. It's very orange in person, but on the screen it's quite yellow. But they're just so great. Look at the diversity of those. And it looks so different to that. So when you cut them up, it's a completely different ball game. I love it. I'm pulling them towards me and I need to push them that way for you to see. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Then we've got these labels. Just look at I mean, you'd never get that again with when you do the Dibby Dabby type, you just will never get that again. This was the bird one that I smudged with the the green colour anyway. And I mean, that's come out. I've edged it because it wasn't it hadn't got a border around it, so I've inked just around it just to show you. But look how cool that is. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful. Then we've got all of these field notes. Let me just take you through these. So we've got, I mean, look at that. It's gorgeous. And, you know, they're just so, I mean, that's green. I've got to say that I do prefer the darker ink on the field labels. Just look at them. They're just so cool. And as I said, you wouldn't get this again. You'd never get two the same. See the blue. The blue's not bad if you've got a blue theme going on, but I do prefer these black or the darker brown colour that I used. I can't remember which one it was an archival, but see the green hasn't come out. But then I over inked on that bit. But I mean, I would still use it. It's not like it's out of the way. I've got these specimen ones, and again got some with blue on. Just love it. Look at that one. Just amazing. Orange and quite a light with just a speckle of blue. Bit of blue, bit of orange on there. And look at that. I just love them. Just love, love, love. And again with the collect. I don't know why I've got big one. Oh, I think I must have used two different sets when I was doing it the first time. Then you've got, see, all that was in a line like that. And look how different they are. Again, you'd never get it again, would you? All these are just the odd, oh, there's another one there. And the oddments of words that don't have borders and things, and this is how they come out. I mean, look how different those identity check ones are. It's just amazing. And I've still got all of this to cut out. So that's going to take me a while. The other thing that I do tend to do as well is once I have cut them out, I leave them in a tray, and then when I sit doing telly, I ink around everything before it actually goes into my tins. So yeah, I'm a bit sad like that. I absolutely love fussy cutting, and I would do it every night of the week whilst watching a bit of TV. Love it. So I can't wait to get my hands on those and get those done. These are the bits that I cut off. And one side is obviously white, the other is coloured. So these are the bits that I cut off, the ends there. Some are thinner, some are a bit wider, where I've left a bit of extra space. But love them. I will definitely use them as well. So nothing on here will go to waste. So I love it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm hoping that somebody will give it a go. And, you know, there is a few videos out there that will show you different other ways to do this. Tony has one. I know Mandy at Sunflower Indoors, she has another. And I'm sure there's a few other people out there that have done it. But I just thought for a mass make, you couldn't want more tickets than that. Love it. So I will be doing another mass make. I'm not sure what that's going to be at the moment, but we will get there. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Go along and support everybody. All the information will be down below. Bye.